Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, actually. Good afternoon. Pedro and I just getting the show started here. Be with you in just a second.
Took my first target. Came back against me. Darn you. Should have been paying to that volume that I knew we didn't put much of a demand wick, so I moved my stop up. I wasn't retestable, so I knew like.
All right, everybody, let's get this show going here. Oh, what a day this has been. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting the show again here on what? The DYOR Live, as it says here on the masthead here. And what does it say back here? It says, this is Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. Welcome to the show, Mr. Pedro. Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, it is March 5th, 2025. We've got a war in the Middle East going on. Getting a little out of control as those Iranians start sending missiles all over there like high school boys trying to hook up with the girls in school. They're going a little crazy over there, but they're saying that they're going to be resilient and hold in for the long term. I don't know what that means in war, but that's usually not a good sign. However, there was a rumor that said that they were not going to close the Strait of Hormuz, and then, of course, everyone realized that was BS. It's war, and it's a very close place. So crude oil has been up and down like crazy, mostly up lately, though, because of the conflict going on. Talk a little bit about that later. Bitcoin was pumping like crazy because of the war. Well, because of whatever reason, I don't know anything. I personally think it's a bull flag, but it did pull back a little bit to 73 today after some people took some profits. Pedro will go over that in a minute. And one of the things we didn't get to yesterday, Pedro, that I was going to talk about was insider trading in the predictive markets. Who knew? Who knew it could be? We'll bring up the article about that in the news segment of today's show. Sorry that we're late, ladies and gentlemen, but I had class, and then I got all discombobulated, and then my computer didn't want to cooperate, so here we are today at the show. Pedro, what's happening?
Not much, man. I'm actually really excited. I'm actually going to be getting hopefully 5 liters of Moroccan olive oil, which is all that in a bag of chips. Yeah, 5 liters. So I go through olive oil quite a bit. Cooking, every morning I take a shot of it every morning. Back in the day, do you remember back in the day when there was this old lady, I think she was 100. It was a meme that went viral. This old lady basically saying, you know, she's like 100 plus years old. They don't even know really how old she is, right? And she's out there running, do all this stuff. And somebody asked her, what's the secret? And she was like, shot of olive oil. And how much? And they're like, and she was like, I do at least an ounce a day. You know, and I was just like, that makes sense for whatever reason. Yeah. You know, because I've always felt good whenever I would do olive oil. I didn't understand why, because of polyphenols. But I just started taking it. And so I always try to find really, really, really good olive oil. And I kind of did. So I'm happy. It's actually really cool. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Pedro, since I was all messed up here and discombobulated, I didn't get a chance to do the social media. So while you're doing Bitcoin, I'm going to do that.
All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, so let's do Cinco de Pedro here real quick.
What are you starting with here, sir?
All right, so we're going to do BTC. Do what you need to do. I'm going to jump into BTC, and then we'll move forward there.
Hello?
Yes. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of like 2 things. All right, so we got a couple things actually happening here. So we talked about this area acting as resistance, not supply, but just resistance against what's actually, this was a liquidity point. And so I said, I expect this to hold, but if not, it's going up most likely into this area of that 75,000 area, right? But we're seeing a pullback. I thought we were going to go up this area here and then come back down and hit the A period. But we didn't. We actually acted as resistance here. And so this area is actually an area of liquidity where there are a lot of stops sitting here, right? So I always say if you hit a lot of stops on the sell side, right? Well, that means that there's buyers coming in on the other end. And when those buyers come in at the other end, the institutions takes the sell side of that, right? And so it's something to always be paying attention to. All right, give me 1 second. So it's one of those things that when I'm looking at the markets, I'm looking at, hey, where we're going to see pullbacks from. So that's why I told you guys, don't worry that much. I'm expecting a pullback down into these lower areas here of that 67 to bounce back off. So this pullback to 70,000 is looking good. Also, when you look at the, also your 4-hour chart, if you look at your intraday time frames, you can see here that we're actually coming down here. We're not putting a lot of supply wicks up as we're coming down. So I'm expecting us to see us really kind of come back down into that 50, again, that 67 area, and then kind of find support. We want to see something like this. When it comes down, we want to see something like this, right? Right here, where we're seeing some wicks as we're coming into this area, and they're going to be looking to take this back up into that 75,000 area. So if you are afraid that you've lost out on this rally, you haven't, don't worry. You always, now that the institutions are always involved, expect pullbacks, right? That's the things I always tell everybody, expect a pullback. So that's where I'm kind of seeing here. Now, when you look not just at BTC, but let's now, did you guys hear that? My voice cracked there. BTC. I'll go to Peter again. Yeah, Peter Brady.
I'm glad you got that reference. It's time to fly.
Dude, I went out with a couple of friends last night, and it was Blazing Saddles. And remember the part where one of our waitress brought it up. What was it? I forget exactly what it was, but I started laughing so hard, and then the guy I went out with, him and his fiance, we were hanging out, and they just started doing this whole entire bit, full on, and the whole entire restaurant was kind of watching them. It was so good. Everybody was just started clapping, yeah. It was actually really cute. But it was from Blazing Saddles.
Welcome, Mr. Hodes, to the show. Thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Yes, I pinged you just to make sure you saw the note. Yesterday he said, sorry, I can't make the show. He had an NFT launch. I hope your NFT launch went successful. Feel free to share the information about that to our audience here.
Here we go.
Pedro, to me, that Bitcoin chart, the 4-hour chart, just looks like it's going to keep rolling over. And unless that 200 period SMA there has got some strength, it's just going to drop down and reclaim the gains that it had starting the other day.
I think you're right.
My newbie eyes here.
Well, no, I think you have a good eye. I'm not, you've called some markets here, so let's not sell you short here, Mark. Tom, I called you Mark. I was like, all right, Mark. But in the same sense, it's we could sit there and see, though, that if we see volume coming in, look at the buy volumes versus the sell volumes, right? And so this is an indication of the breakout here of it going up. That pullback into that lower area here is what I'm really looking at. Because this right here will then determine as we get into the the smaller time frames, the lower time frames, right? That are we putting in, right? Once we start to come down to this level here, we start to see buyers stepping in, and it's putting in higher highs and higher lows, right? Boom. And we're seeing really just that push up here. So this is really what I'm looking at. Key point for me is that I want to see it on that daily chart And also on that weekly chart, I want to see it get up and test that 8 period on the weekly. And you can see we're kind of coming into that level. Now, on the back end, we have not put in the demand wick for the month, right? I always talk about that, right? We want to see a supply wick and a demand wick. And so right now we're going up first at the beginning of the month. But I do think that we're getting ready to move up, right? I do think that this potentially is that we're going to hit this area. It's going to act as resistance. See, come back, put in, and then go back up is what my view is looking at right now. Oh, darn you. Sorry, I'm looking at gold right now. Freaking man. I mean, I made money, but it was still one of those, it came back, pulled that. The thing is, you have such these huge moves. Huge moves.
I know gold has been absolutely fucking crazy. And the amount of money it takes to make those huge moves. I mean, it's not like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is fucking chump change compared to gold.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And think of the money it takes to move Bitcoin a lot. I mean, when gold moves 100 points, it's like a few $100 billion in cash needs to be put in the market.
Yeah. Well, no. That's in
or not.
They
cash,
do put $100 billion. No, here's the thing. They do put $100
most of it's on margin.
But like I was going to say, they have a 10-to-1 to 100-to-1 ratio of leverage, right? Because they're institutions. So like me putting in $1 million will only give me access to maybe $1 billion, right? Their $1 million, they're literally getting $1 trillion, right? Because their margin for one contract, instead of having to pay $1,000, maybe at the most they're paying $50 a contract.
And why is that, Pedro? Why do they get better rates than you?
Well, I would say rates, but
why do they get? Well, it's better credit. They have better credit.
Actually, good point. Yeah. Well, because if they go belly up, it's
because they got more money than you, and they can collect it in court.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's a perfect way of putting it. Yeah. So I just think when you look at the markets at large, I'm always seeing like, okay, where do they want to take this going and where we want to put it? Ideal when it comes to crypto, because crypto itself is still moving based off of what we're seeing in the traditional markets for like futures, right? Like if we look up, there is, and let me pull this up here real quick, a futures market for, the CME, right, for BTC. And so one of the things, and we've done this before already. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure I get the front month here. And I can actually just show you guys here how to do that. Boom, we come right here. It's factory, it's factory. That's the one. Okay, boom. We'll just use this one first right here. What you do is you come here to CME. Boom, and then you just log in here real quick. Boom, CME.
God, Natty Gas went bonkers too, Pedro.
Yeah, Natty, I know, dude. Natty was stupid, and our friend,
it's still stupid. It's going up right now, like as we're talking. It's just boop, boop, boop. Did a tanker get blown up or something? No, well,
it could be, but honestly, it just pulled back for the day, and now it's continuing up because you saw that
inventories were today.
There's just a lot of stuff going on, but I'm looking more at the chart here real quick. So
no, I mean they had natural gas inventories were today.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Could be. Yep, that's exactly probably what it is. Not enough supply. You're a good point. Yeah, absolutely. From a fundamental level, yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead here real quick. I just want to show you how to go through and get the current market. So you go to CME.com, all right, CMEgroup.com. You're able to come here, okay? And so what I want to teach you guys to do, let's say that you want to find out natural gas here, right? And that's NG, natural gas. That's the Henry Hub natural gas. This is the primary one that we use. And the reason why I'm using this is I want to come down here to the volume and open interest to find the current, the highest amount, because I'm about to show you what I'm doing here. but on BTC. So you can see here, I'm going to look at open interest, and I'm going to look at volume. Okay, total volume, what's actually happening. You can see here, my total interest is for the May contract. There's more open interest. That means there are more buys and sellers in that. And if you look at the volume, right, the volume isn't necessarily being traded as much. Okay, so for me, I want to see if I can get into, like, I'm looking at this, but I know that they're transitioning, right? And so when my volume gets to about equal, then I know that May is the actual contract that I want to trade when we transition from the April to May. And then, but the reason why I use the open interest, because what's happening is a lot of people are starting to take out their position on here and go into the May contract. And so that you can gauge what's the smartest or most liquid, what's the most liquid contract, so you can trade with the most liquidity and not basically get stuck on it. Right? What do they call that? Contango?
Oops, wrong button. No, but one of the things you gotta remember is generally our viewers aren't trading anything with contracts. They're trading the perpetuals on Maxi.
Well, I understand that. I get that, but it's important to understand that if you're looking, you want to find the correct CME, because me and Tom were talking about, remember, the institutions and actually how they go through and how they get it cheaper than everybody else, right? When it comes to credit, they can buy more large. So if you can actually see what they're doing on the CME with BTC, that will give you an insight of actually how to go through and engage what they're actually doing. So it's important to look at that volume on the CME, because that's where the real money is sitting. Right, so you can see BTC here. Just type it in the search bar, come right here. It's going to pull up, and then you're just going to go here, future margins, boom, boom, boom. Let's see if I can find it.
Mr. Hodes, nobody wants my gas. I can't even sell my own natural gas.
That's awesome.
Sorry, I'm having some fun in the comments there.
I love it. So you can see here from micro Bitcoin futures, right? You can see here that there's a huge amount in this current in the March why am I forgetting what that's called? In the March contract. So you can see here, and there aren't necessarily switching things over just yet, right? But you can see here that in the March contract, they're going into that April. So you can see, like, looking at the volume, that it's, there's still, they haven't switched things over, but it is switching over. You can see that. So that's what we're looking at, right? And towards the end of March, second to the last week, you will sit there and say, or the third week, that you'll see everything just start to funnel. And this is what you call like the Goldman Sachs rollover here, where they just take from one contract into the next contract. And what happens is they typically keep price at an exact level. And so this is why sometimes some weeks are sideways weeks versus when we have an expansion week, because it really has to do with what's happening on the CME for the contracts happening in Bitcoin on that exchange. And so sometimes Goldman Sachs will keep price on the actual coin itself. And so it's important to be paying attention to BTC or ETH. Solana is now being traded on the CME. So is XRP. So they're all going to start to adopt this behavior or transitioning of the actual contracts. And so right now, I think they're month to month, but
Sorry about that, Pedro. Forgot to bring up the X chat. One of these days, we're gonna get a good crowd on X. One of these days. Oh, you got a trade coming in there, Pedro?
No, it's just I'm like,
Pedro's like this.
Dude, my mouth. I gotta learn to shut my mouth. I I don't know why I do that. I look like an idiot. I gotta stop. I'm sorry. All right, let me focus here.
Sorry, I know it's hard when you're making money.
All right, I'm focusing. Okay, so here's the thing I want to point out here. And so as I'm looking at the market here, you can see here that now I showed you what to look for and how to see it. When I look at the market, you can sit there and say, okay, I want the actual the March market. Okay, and so April. What's April? May, June. So it would be June. What's the June market?
M?
Do you know the number? Is it M? I always forget. M. Thank you. So you can see here that you can gauge how they're trying to play this market into the next, because we're coming up to the last month, which is the last quarter. So you can start to see volume start to come into this level here. You can see here as they're playing this out here that they want to kind of they're keeping it sideways at this level here. And so this is where there we go. That's this level right here. That's what we're hitting. Yep. So you can see that they're actually positioning it to go long. You can see that here the 8 and the 20 are starting to cross more so. You're starting to see some dope stuff here. Now the biggest thing we want to pay attention to is that once we come into this contract, are we going to see, are they positioning their position right here to take it up? Or is this a position to take it down? Right? That's what you're wondering. So this is what we're kind of seeing. Is it something like this to go down? And so to me, I would expect to see it go up and go down, because I really do think that 60,000, 55,000 area is the low. I really do. And it's based off more on volume, based more on the way that every time we come down to that level, we keep seeing demand wicks on the daily chart. We keep seeing them put in that position. So that's why, whereas versus other times, we haven't seen that.
All interesting.
I'll pick it up. Someone just hit me up. Oh.
Our multitasking show host.
Sorry about that, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's make a comment here, Pedro. To sum up BTC. We have a long month left here. We still have a full March month. We do have spring break coming up and winter breaks in various countries. That puts a lot of people on vacation and that type of stuff. In the middle of the month, we may see a little swoon in liquidity in Bitcoin and some other things as vacations heat up. It's a big thing here in Canada. Like the whole effing country just F's off for 1 week in March because they have spring break here. They call it winter break or March break. Call it March break. In the U.S., most schools, or like half the schools go on Easter, and the break varies based on when Easter is, and the other half go on just a fixed week in March. In Canada, they're pretty much all at the same time. So anything Canadian related, it just comes to a halt. I mean, everyone's like, kids are off, so we're going to take off from work too. And another week in Canada where nothing gets done, which is just about every other effing week here. And it also means less liquidity in the markets. Now, Canada isn't big, but it does influence the gold markets a lot, and it does influence not natural gas, LNG. That's not a highly traded market. Oh, now I'm getting effing warnings from my computer saying it sucks. Arrgh! Pedro, take it back. I got to do something here before this terminates our broadcast.
Alrighty, so you guys can see here that I'm actually looking at Ethereum here as well. So we're switching from BTC to Ethereum. And one of the things I want to point out, and I think is really cool, is that you can see here that you also have a lot of demand wicks coming in. So I'm expecting to see this thing continue higher. We came in a similar situation where we have this liquidity sitting here, and then you have this liquidity sitting also up in here. So expect a similar situation with Ethereum as it starts to find support at these lower levels. Kind of giving up hope for the $1,500 Ethereum here, just because I'm watching what's actually happening from price point. But if we
there's no doubt Ethereum's going to hit 1,500. It's so fucking programmed in. All these people, Ethereum's going to 10,000, it's going to 20,000. Woo! That shit's going to fucking 1,500. It's going to 900.
You know what? It may.
Bitcoin's going to sneeze. Bitcoin's going to go down to. If Bitcoin goes back down to 60, Ethereum's they're going to be giving away it on the street corner. And charge you high fees to take it. You're like, here, we'll give this to you, but if it's going to cost you $10 in gas to get it.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. I remember I live streamed the full time period in which we saw it transition from. I talked about that. I was on the Bankless show.
From proof of work to proof of stake.
Yeah, proof of stake. Yeah. Right. And I remember saying to the Bankless guys, I was like, listen, this thing's dropping down. Like, and I was in the comment section saying we're gonna see a drop down because they're already shorting this market, and people, they saw.
They're like, crazy. Boo, Pedro! Only Moon Boys here, boo!
Yeah, and I just remember just saying, like, you can put a short out on the CME, like you can do all these things, but the reason why I'm saying that is, I don't feel like Tom. I do think that there's so many usages, and there's a lot of institutional money that's going into Ethereum that even if it might be a little laggy right now, it's not going away because there's too much money. Like they're going to figure out a way to fix the issue. There's just no way they're going to keep that, right? And so all that money going into it, and the fact is that Vitalik has already sold out to them. I mean, he just is, right? Like, it's just part of it. And he wants to see. He is. I mean, he's a bot man, or as the mobsters say, he's a made man. So, and that's just kind of how it is. I would expect, I do expect maybe some type of other Ethereum that might come out, and another Bitcoin that might come out, and these might get faded away, in time. But there's so much money into it now that I just can't see them not seeing another rally that, puts in a new all-time high and some. And I can't see that. It's just not, it just sounds crazy to me. I don't know. I know Tom is like, nah, it's going to. People talk AT double hockey sticks.
People talk about the uses of Ethereum, and to be honest, I can't even think of one. People are Ethereum this, Ethereum that. I can't think of one that isn't done 1,000 times better than another chain. Just not even.
Oh, that's interesting. There are usages. I mean, what I'm saying, like the Ethereum.
That's a layer one, machine. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, that's Ethereum virtual machine. The problem is that there's 17 other major chains that use their Ethereum virtual machine, and they don't pay Ethereum anything. It's free. Yeah. They just want to go to the GitHub, download it. You can start your own EVM chain in 10 minutes. It doesn't cost you anything. Zero. I mean, you might not have any customers or liquidity in it, but you can start it. You don't have to pay Ethereum.
This is true. So either way, I just don't see institutions just going by the way. If Jamie Dimon looks at Ethereum and goes, it's a crypto that does something. He may not even understand it, but he's putting money into it. His organization is creating ETFs based off of it, and they're accumulating. They may not even fully understand Ethereum, but they are accumulating it. So I'm just saying.
Mr. Hodes is not happy. I'm guessing you're responding to the Ethereum comment.
Yes, of course he is, dude. By the way, let's go.
Somebody must be long in Ethereum.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not.
No, I meant Mr. Hodes.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. While we're talking to Mr. Hodes, let's talk about XRP. Know that some of the things here have been really, really interesting here. Shut your mouth. That's pretty epic.
XRP 141. XRP going to nothing. Going down.
Going to nothing.
I'm telling you, the day is gonna come. You know what? I met Pedro. Quick sidebar on XRP and Ripple. I met someone the other day at a conference here in Ottawa. And he was asking, we're just talking. What do you do? And I was like, well, I mostly do this online talk show. Blah 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 blah. And he's like, in crypto and digital assets? I was like, yeah. He said, I'm sure you've heard of Ripple and XRP. And I was like, yeah. He said, have you ever heard of something called Toast Wallet? And I was like,
actually, I saw it popping on X.
I was like, Toast Wallet? I was like, yeah, was it 5 years ago or so or something like that? Yeah. And he's like, yeah. He said we had 600,000 people download it. 600,000 people download it in development, and they presented it to Ripple in order to become integrated with Ripple as one of their products to run the ledger and be an official wallet of that. And apparently, without going into detail, the two owners that developed Toast Wallet disagreed on how to go about their arrangement with XRP. So they fought about it for a while and went back to XRP, and by then they met with Brad, and Brad said, "Yeah, you guys, we've moved on." Two guys. One guy was the money man, the other guy was the developer. And as we know, in these types of things, money men and developers fight a lot, and that happened, and that cost them. He said, a guy tells me, he said, I estimate it cost me $50 million. Not in lost money, but in gained revenue that he never would have got. And he goes, and that he goes, that is as a finance guy, that is, your unicorn. I was like, ooh. I was like, ooh, that hurts. And he goes, oh, it hurts, trust me.
Because the thing
is that. Sorry to interrupt your XRP talk.
That's all right. I just think about that, man. That hurts. We're talking $2 million, bro.
$50 million.
No.
50.
$2 million a year of annual income tax-free off that $50 million.
Oh, yes.
Off that $50 million. He is set. Do you understand? That's $160,000 a month.
Well, this particular man he's not short for money anyway, but still, that's his job. That's what he does.
Yeah. It's still money.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't like you and me scraping by on an oil trade or gold trade here. He was in a position of being a financier for a reason. Although I don't know, perhaps he did it the old-fashioned way and inherited it, and he was turning 100 million into 5 million instead of 5 million into 100 million. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. You guys look at Donald Trump. A man turned $50 million. I believe he inherited $50 million, and from there he turned it into a few billion. So I mean.
And into the presidency.
And then his family's now has a legacy like that is.
I know so many people say that. They're like, I hate those people on X, and they're like, oh yeah, well he just inherited daddy's money. I was like, yeah, you got a little bit of money. They're like, well, yeah, once you get rich, it's easy just to get richer. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
It's actually the opposite. Statistically.
Is it easier that you don't have to raise money in order to start a business and invest? Yeah, but you still have to put in the same work to make a business grow. I mean, you don't just like, I got 50 million. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll just start 20 businesses and I'll be a billionaire. Okay, and I'm going to go to Florida. You got to work your butt off.
Yeah.
Just like Pedro and I are working our butt off to develop DYOR Media into a multi-billion-dollar news and media conglomerate, right?
One day it will. Watch. Mark our words. One day. It might be
Moon River.
I was thinking one day, a little bit of Mariyahu. Get his name. But jumping back here real quick, let's talk about our friend XRP. So XRP is still below that 8-period moving average on the weekly. We've been kind of just selling off month to month. We bounced off of that 50-period moving average on the monthly chart here. But now with a huge amount of like volume for those bounces, right? Like if you look at that bounce, it was really more of just like taking profit. That's this push up right here. And you can see there's really not a lot of real buying, right? So for myself, looking at XRP, I'm definitely seeing it again, continuing down at least to that dollar. My thought is really still at that 105, $1 area, just because it's just, I think that's really the cheapest. You saw the institutions really coming and buying at this level here. So I think that's what we're seeing it come down into. And then as one of Tom's favorite coins, right? And we all know how much he loves it. We've got dude, I want to do that so bad, dog. Like just to be like, I've thought about that last night. You're so racist. Like, we would be canceled, but if we ever got big, they'd go back and look at this.
Hey, I just watched the Netflix series Shogun, and what's it called? Haiku? No, it's not haiku. It's whatever, when they kill themselves because they dishonored. And some poor guy.
What's that called?
Some poor guy he's advanced military guy, but still the plebeian class or whatever. And he just opens his mouth at the wrong time, like that, and he has dishonored the great leader. And so he has to kill himself, but first he has to kill all the males in his family, kill the whole lineage. Done. Doop. All the way down to an infant. And then he kills himself, and then the wife is left destitute. It was a good system. Great job developing that. Anyway, it kept people in line, that's for sure.
That is the most... I forgot how... This is why I like Judeo-Christian value thought process. That thing called grace. Yes, there's such thing as an honor culture.
Or just that it's there's no better time to be alive than now. I mean, just back in everyone's like, oh, ancient Japan was so great and all this kind of stuff. It was for about 14 people. For the emperor and his top guys. Everyone else was essentially a slave. Not a slave, but it was there was no middle class. It was there was no advancing in life unless you were born with the right sperms, and then you advanced and got lucky. And everyone else, tough shit. Want to start a crypto project? Get rich, and then go to Ibiza and spend all your money on hookers and booze? Nope. All you get to do is go to Okinawa. That's it.
Yeah, Okinawa. At the most. But jumping back here real quick, I want to point out Crow, Tom's favorite coin. I'm kind of waiting. So I'm buying at that 7,000, 6,000 area. So yeah, hopefully it'll get down to that 6,004 area. Say even more. Anyways, jumping back next to the ES here. ES, we've been seeing this thing play off of this liquidity area. And just to point out, if my friend Chris is watching, I did say it was going to go down. Awkward now.
Awkward silence.
Anyhow, awkward silence. I love you, Chris. But in the same sense right here, you see that right there? When we went up, we hit that liquidity area here, this area here. We can just pop down, came, and this is why I like liquidity areas. You know, like you can right here, you can play the peak here, and it went from there from 87. I think the high was 91. So 87 to 97, that's 10 point. You know, we could have caught that, and nice little play here. You can see we hit that, sold off, topped off here, took everybody's stop here, and just continued down. It's really interesting to see this morning the open here, because the open was definitely playing with people's emotions here.
For you crypto bros, the ES is the S&P 500 futures contract.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And so you can see here, as we pushed up, I said they're playing games here. I don't see no demand wick. My mother raised no, what is it? My mother didn't raise no fool. As we saw it coming in. So I said, I expect this thing to come down, down, down to Chinatown. Anybody, if you haven't seen, what's that one with Mike? Was it Michael Douglas? When he goes into like, it's like the Oriental place, and then it's like all the magical, like it was in the late 80s.
Magical?
It was, I mean, I don't know. It was, I forget exactly. Like it was like a magic, it was like he went in, it was like a Chinese restaurant, and then like, but they had all this like, it doesn't matter. In the quote, he was like, I'm going down to Chinatown. And it was in the movie, which I guess might be, if that actually, we might get canceled for that one too as well, for our statement, just joking around. Because you can't say stuff like that no more. It sounds so crazy. You can't say things anymore, even if they're funny. Like,
a new advertiser just popped up on our thing. It says the payment for reading their ad is $600. Minimum viewership, 20,000. We're a wee bit short, good sir.
For now. But I bet you we got 10 there. All we need is literally 1, 2, 3 zeros there. And one day it's going to happen. One day it's going to happen. We're going to be like, boom. And me and Tom are going to be making $600 every single call, every single thing. It'd be like we're walking out making $1,800 a day.
There are no shows on Rumble right now that have 20,000 viewers. Live.
Not yet.
Not yet. Right.
Not yet. Shout out to all my 10 people watching us. Much love, baby. You will always be remembered, no matter what. Stay strong with us. Ride with us. Don't make it happen. Anyhow, you'll be able to say, I remember when Tom and Pedro, i.e. equals Palm, you know, you have, what was it? Brad and Angelina Jolie. What did they call him?
Bradgelina?
Bradgelina, yeah, that's what it was. Bradgelina. Yeah, instead of Tom and Pedro, it's Palm. There you go. Welcome to the DYOR Media Network, where you have Palm bringing and talking about the markets. Yep, you can tell I'm on here today.
Pedro, the height of American culture. It's with Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst.
There you go. Bringing in culture, predicting futures. Speaking of futures, have you seen some of the stuff happening in the actual news? Like, it's crazy. I feel like, I mean, with Trump, I'm like, is this really? This is happening. This is really happening.
All I enjoy, I've been focused pretty much, Pedro, on class and studying. And I've only been watching the news. Let me first, I haven't watched the news at all. All I've been doing is just opening CNN.com and then opening FoxNews.com and comparing the two for 10 minutes just to get an idea of the markets. And CNN, God love them, but my God, people, you gotta stop with it. Just everything just being anti-Trump. Just go with reporting the news, please, please, please. Because while I like Fox News because they report the news, they have their certain things they cover and certain things they don't. But CNN, Pedro, all week has been just as soon as you turn on Trump bad, Trump said something wrong, potentially illegal, potentially Trump this, Trump that. And you go to Fox News and it's like, submarine sinks ship, information about the war, that's information you want to consume and stuff like that. And then the political stuff is down at the bottom. They're giving you, functional news that you need to learn about what's going on. And CNN's just feeding you like their base crap. Like, yeah, Trump bad. Ooh, there's a war going on. Let's learn about it. What if like during World War II, the newspapers of the day, instead of saying, well, the 7th Armored Division fought its way through the Battle of the Bulge today, and here are the results, and blah, blah, blah. Instead, they said, God, Roosevelt's wheelchair isn't approved. Oh my God, he lied. He said he could walk, and he can't. No, there's a fucking war going on, guys. Let's talk about it. Pisses me off. Sorry to go sideways on you there, but...
Well, it's okay. I was going to say, was really interesting. So I know a lot of people talked about, a lot of the conspiracy theorists were saying that Venezuela, right, was there. We really got into Venezuela because of the gold, not even really about the crude oil. That's just more messing with China. And I was talking to a friend of mine, I was like, bro, that's just crazy talk.
China's got plenty of gold.
Right. Well, I mean,
we dig that shit up whenever they want. So can we. We can dig it up.
Yeah. We just go over, knock on our neighbor's door and say, hey, we need some gold.
You're going to go to Venezuela and steal a vault from them?
Well, it was interesting.
We can just go out to Arizona just to dig the shit out of the state and get more gold than that.
Well, it's interesting. Venezuela, that's right. State-owned mining company has signed a deal to supply up to 1,000 kilograms and then said, kilograms of gold for delivery into the United States market.
That would be a metric ton, wouldn't it?
That would be a metric ton. And so you're talking adding an additional 1 ton into it. And now, granted, right now we have, as I sneeze into the mic, that people, my bad. Okay, so let's talk. But what's interesting is that we always talk about the dollar, right? How much gold and the dollar and how this all works out. Let's go into it again. We're going to go into the U.S. Debt clock here. We're going to go back to what we were talking about here in just a second. But I want to bring this up because it's like really kind of cool. America has so much gold, like actual in reserve. It's stupid. Like, where is it?
Can you hit like Control and plus once or twice to zoom that?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
There you go.
There we are. Yeah. Man, gold here. Do they not have it? Where are you at? That's again, normally we see, well, here we are. United States, in comparison to gold holding by country in ounces, we have a stupid amount compared. We literally have almost 3 times the amount of the country that has closest to us. When you look at China, they have 81 million ounces of gold. I don't know what that is in tons, but it is definitely not as much as what we have. And it's kind of crazy when you look at this, the ratio, dollars to silver ratio, boom, right? Back in 1913 compared to today.
Sorry, because you're zoomed in now, we only see the bottom of your screen.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I want you to see.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right. The reason I bring this up is if you look at from currently right now, right, boom, you can see here that gold, and as I do this here, look at gold, which I think is totally crazy, right? The ratio of the price in 2013 was literally 28 bucks. Now, that was per ounce. Now they're trying to charge 9,511 per ounce.
For what?
For per ounce right now. It's crazy. I
Of
just
what?
saw that going, for gold, which I don't even understand.
How can they get such a premium?
I don't know. I'm just like, what? That's not what I was expecting to see.
Well, I do know
Go
why. It's because the premium, there's not a lot of supply in the bulk delivery market. I mean, because that supply is taken up by COMEX and by the big, there's not a lot of gold just outside of the normal traded system. That there's plenty like already made into jewelry and stuff, but there's not a lot just sitting out there for delivery in bars ready to go. That's not already part of the COMEX delivery system.
Okay, I got it. All right,
Or
that makes sense.
The equivalent in other countries. Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. I was expecting to see something else. So
wait, scroll back
either
down.
way,
I saw an amazing number there. Scroll back down. This number here. Oh, the currency and credit derivatives now, 872 trillion, and it's probably light too. There's so many off the books things. It's probably a light number.
oh, you're right.
$872 trillion in the currency and credit derivatives now. Now let's talk about, for just 1 minute here, the big news lately has been because banks are so stingy and haven't been lending. They've been just taking their money and reinvesting it in the market. They make more money than lending it out to you and me. A lot of companies have relied on the private credit market. When you hear that in the news, private credit just means outside of the banking system. Just means like if I have a ton of money and I want to lend it to people, like just call me Tony Soprano, I can do that. But legally, not like Tony Soprano. Or if I'm a big finance company, Pedro's finance company, and they've got access to $1 billion in cash, they can lend that out. That's called private credit. And that number, and then people package that up. They package this loan from that company and this loan. They package the value of it, and then they resell that. And that adds to the value of it because there's the value of the loan in the first place. Then people package the loans up in the company, and then they sell that. Then there's a derivative of that, and then this. Then there's blah blah blah. That's how we got in trouble in the mortgage market. It's gonna happen in this market too. It's gonna happen.
I honestly think that. So I remember a while back, they changed this number, but I remember when it was like $40 quadrillion. I remember that, and I was like, that is crazy. And we actually were online, and then we went back one day, and it was like this amount. It was like under, still in the trillions. I was like, what happened to the original number, which was like 40 quadrillion? And for whatever reason they changed it. So part of me is almost just like, is that an error? And here's the thing: it wasn't just this. It wasn't just U.S. debt clock. It was another organization as well I used to look at. And so,
you know what? I remember that. You remember you showing me that graph? I don't think it was 40 quadrillion. I think it was 4 quadrillion. But still.
No, because it was literally almost 100 times the amount that we were looking at.
Oh.
Remember, because I gave you a look. It literally had one square of the actual currency value that we actually have, and then the derivative of it was like 100 times. Like, it was crazy, and that was the actual credit that was actually out on it. I don't think it was. I almost positive it was 40 quadrillion versus 40, or instead of 4 quadrillion. I wish we could go back and look at that, man. And I remember sending that to you. Like, it was crazy. It was absolutely.
I just looked through my bookmarks, and my bookmarks are not well done on my organized well, and I couldn't find it.
yeah, it was crazy because I was like, that is insanity. I was like, let's talk about this on the next show. And it was crazy. But the reason why I'm saying this is just simple as this. We've got about 2 million, or we got about 3 million ounces of gold. And I wonder what a troy ounce or a troy ton ounce is. Do you know what that is? Because I'm almost curious to see how much are they adding to it. You're good with math, my friend. You went through calculus.
Hold on, let me bring up the gold chart here and change it to.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that would be.
Change it.
Just ounces. Actually, just make it tons. What would it be in ounces to tons? So, like, we don't even need the value.
A metric ton. A metric ton right now is trading at $163.2 million a ton. You know, that probably doesn't help you, does it?
I was going to say, what is...
I'll take 2 tons, Alex.
How many ounces is that going to add to our reserve is what I'm asking. That's what I would like to know. What's one?
Give me 1 second, I'll tell you.
Look,
I'll do the math on it here.
This man, I'm telling you, it's amazing. I don't care what those people say about him. He's awesome. Sorry, dude. I just had to. Boom. Here we go. No, that's not what I was trying to do. All right, so we're starting to see it kind of put that little bottom in right here. Let's see where the CME.
Let's see. It's going to be 35,273 ounces.
All right, so 35,000. So that's basically just peanuts.
A shit ton, Mr. Hode says. It's just a shit ton. Yes, in fact, that's a technical, very technical term there, shit ton.
Yes. Well, when you consider that we have 286 million ounces, 30,000 ounces isn't necessarily.
Yeah, it's like Michael Saylor buying another $40 million in Bitcoin. Like, okay, so what? You DCAing, Mike? He must be like this right now. Oh, phew. Price is up a little bit. Whew.
Now, the other question I wanted to bring up, and I thought was really interesting, is that Trump is basically talking about firing the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem.
Kristi
Do you know
Noem.
anything about her? Yeah, do you know anything about her?
Yeah, you just... The best part is to go on images, on Google Images, and say Kristi Noem before and after. And when she was the governor of North Dakota or whatever, South Dakota, she just looked like, plain Jane that just took her first corporate job. Yeah. And then as soon as she got hooked up with the Trump organization, she turned into I call him the Fox News girl look. Just the whole different look. She went from just like, hey, that's some girl from the central of North Dakota, into like getting everything fixed, new makeup, new hair, new outfits, new everything. It's pretty funny seeing the change. And frankly, a tactical error on her part. It got the eye of Mr. Trump, and she got a good job out of it. But when there's people like me bringing it up, criticizing her for it, that's a problem. Especially when you're the head of the Homeland Security. I mean, in my mind, I see a dude in a suit. Sorry, it's not a female to male thing. I just, have an image of a dude in a suit, pin on his thing. He's probably bald now, looks mean in sunglasses, and has broad shoulders, and just want to rip heads off people for fucking up, that type of stuff. And I don't see a fashionista. And and I realize there are people out there where you're just me, old man, blah blah blah. I see that law enforcement man that wants to take care of business. And like I said the other day on the show, there's lots of law enforcement women that have that same look. You know them, you see them, you're like, whoa. And that's who I see running a job like that. Not a public figure. It would be great if I never knew who the director of Homeland Security was. Just You don't need to know that. Just are they taking care of the police? They taking care of the Homeland Security? They're doing a good job? Don't need to know. Don't need to know. Don't need to see him on TV every day giving speeches. Yeah, see,
it's
look.
Kind of crazy. Yeah, this is her and plain Jane.
And that's even after some of the change. When you go look at it, yeah, here, see right there. There's, and then when totally different, short hair and the pixie cut over there.
Yep, to the long hair and. Yeah, it's interesting. That's really interesting. So I didn't even realize that was at that level. But here's my question, right? So obviously she got a pay bump, right? Women, you talk to most women and they'll just straight tell you, looking good from a physical standpoint always causes their bank account to go up. Doesn't matter. I talked to one girl and she's like, she just straight said to him, she goes, me going into business and being in sales, and I just wear just like nice stuff. Right?
Oh, it's like shooting fucking fish in a barrel.
She said she saw a 400 increase in a year. She was making $50,000, and then it jumped up to $200,000, doing the same thing. Dude just said, okay, I'll buy, because she made herself more appealing to the actual guys that she was selling to. So that's simple, and nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Can't believe it. Sex sells. I can't believe it. That's it. I'm getting boob implant. I'm going through the change, Pedro. I'm getting transitioning.
I heard somebody talking about that. Like one guy, he's like, he was joking around, so he wasn't serious. But he was just simply saying, he was just like, if I could muster up the idea of changing myself and really becoming a
Christine
woman.
Ohm did get fired.
Yeah. Is she? Okay.
I wasn't thinking about it. She's fired. They're pleased to announce the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullin, will become, his first name is Markwayne. Will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st. The current secretary, who served us well, said numerous and spectacular results, especially at the border, will be moving to be a special envoy for the Shield of Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere we're announcing on Saturday in Doral, Florida. I thank Christy for her service at Homeland. That's what you call exiting with a pillow, the golden parachute there. You got fired. Well, you know what? They're still at loggerheads with the funding in D.C. with Homeland Security. And frankly, the Democrats, and if you know, they're all like Elizabeth Warren. They all look like a lot of those female cops that I was talking about, or law enforcement officers. They're not happy with the fashionista at the helm. And I think getting rid of her was a condition of turning the funding back on for Homeland Security.
Probably. Honestly, I don't know much about her. I'll just be honest. I don't know much about her, but I know that Trump is quick. If you're not pulling your weight and you're not doing a bang up job, he's just like, look, I got to get rid of you. There's no nothing personal. This is business, but you're not cutting the weight. Just ask Tom about that. A little slip ups start to add up on it, and all of a sudden people get
so sad.
So sad. Too much? Too soon? Too soon? Probably too soon. Sorry. All right, let's move on. I'm so sorry, man. That was dick. That was so dick of me. I'm sorry. That was too much. Too much. I double checked with the.
Wait a minute.
What's up?
Where is this Markwayne coming from? Is he elected official now or in the past? Because Trump can't take someone out of the Senate. I mean, you can't sacrifice anyone out of the Senate. That's for sure.
Dude, I don't know why I banged so hard on these chips over here, but or on these, what do you call it? I type really loud. Keyboard, there you go.
Well, you get a loud keyboard. We have the whole audience hears your keys all the time. That's why like when we not only know when you're off doing something else in the middle of your thought. And today BTC is.
Dude, I suck at lying, dog. I gotta get better.
And you're like, oh no, I was just looking at my whatever. And I'm like, dude, we can hear you. You're even mouthing the words. Hi, Peter. How you doing? Yeah, the trade went okay. Thank you. I'm like, in mid-sentence.
Yeah, I need to get better. Actually, no. I should get better at lying. I just be like, look, I don't know. Give me a second. I got to finish this thing. Like,
once again, ladies and gentlemen, we do things in an edutainment fashion. We educate you and entertain you. This is definitely the entertainment part and not the education part.
Dude, I know one of these days somebody's going to put together a thing of me just being like this. He's gonna be like, ha 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 ha. Like, it's gonna be funny though. Hey, give me 1 second. I'm gonna let you take over for just a moment. Take the con, my friend. I'll be back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. What do we got up on the thing here? Crypto Unicorn says, most excellent. Connect me one. Ha ha ha. Thanks for joining us, everybody, to the show. Gold still in a meltdown here. I have the price of gold at 162 million now. I gotta put it back to Troy ounce, so it's right there. I've been messing around with gold a lot because I'm in a course right now for futures trading, trying to get my level up here, as they say, level up. And today was the thing. Actually, last night I was looking at the markets and I said, "Ooh," I said, gold is getting ready to dump off here and come down. Well, it came all the way down to 5,000 today, but last night. Wait, that's March 2nd. Where's tonight? Last night. Oh, here. Sorry. Last night, right here, I was like, "Ooh, gold's gonna dump off here," but I was tired after a couple of days of studying and staying up too late, studying and doing all that type of stuff. So I need to go to bed. So I went to bed and didn't take any. I wouldn't be trading it. I would just be looking. These green boxes are zones for stuff that I'm learning, and it would be using the sim or demo account. And then I woke up this morning and it dumped off like this, and I was like, "Arg, arg, arg, arg." Then it pumped back up, and I was like, "Ooh, interesting." And then around 9 o'clock this morning, Dump City started right on the open with gold, right on the open. And look at this massive candle here. Let's see. I'm on the 5-minute. Let's go to the 15-minute chart here. Let's start here. Gold in 1 minute, in the opening minute, it went from 5,165.70 to 5,084. That represents, and this is I trade the micro gold, which it's only $10 per dollar. So that went down 158 minus 8. It went down it represented a $700 move if you had one contract in 1 second. Pedro, are you back there? No, he's not. And then it pulled back immediately, and I said, "Oh, okay, that was the big thing. Now it's likely to continue its trend down," and it did all day. Gold has been selling off. Back to the level where it dumped off after the big run up to 55,000 or whatever. Very, very interesting, because in times of war, you would think gold would go up, even from a speculator's point of view. But it didn't. Anyway, that was consuming my attention today, was watching that and seeing how it moved. And one of the cool things is that here, let me look on the 1 hour chart. What I did today was, in essence, I predicted how the market was going to open. These boxes here represent places I thought it was going to go to. And then when it opened, today's Thursday, so the market opened yesterday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It opened here at 51.56, right? 51.55. And what I said was that it was going to go up after the open and then trade down. And let's see if that happened. It was going to go up, hit these zones, go all the way up to 5,215, about is what I called it to do. And we immediately did that. We went up. We got just short of that. We got 2005, 2006. That's the high there. 2004.3. Okay, so I was off. But it got close. I predicted it's going to open, it's going to go up and hit these highs, and then it's going to retrace. And it did. And it did like a mofo. Came right back down here, all the way down. So in other words, this is a day where you could have planned your day out in advance. As you know from me going over months in it, the months in Bitcoin and in gold, and how to plan for the month and how to plan for the week and all that. This is how you plan your day. And so you plan your trading day. You say, all right, on the open, I'm going to go long because it's going to go up. It's going to reach certain points. And then you're going to go short. And then at the end of the day, you're going to buy back your shorts and close your positions out and be up fat stacks of cash. Had I had done that, I would have done well. But I didn't. I had a lot of stuff going on today. So I just watched it. I didn't make any sim trades. I'm not trading live money using any futures contracts right now. Got to practice in the sim. So that's what I'm doing. If you got any questions about that, anyone out there, let me know. I see that there's still a bunch of you watching. I appreciate it. Pedro will be back in a few minutes. There he is. Mr. Pedro's coming back. Pedro, I was just telling people about what went on in gold today and how, on the concept of how planning your week out or month out, like I try to do, and then how to look at how the week's going to shape up. Also like to do that for the day. We talked about how looking at the open, we would say, oh, it's gonna do a certain pattern, and that worked out today. Didn't anticipate gold going so low, but I should have. Anyway, but before we get into other things, Pedro, I wanted to bring up the news article I've been talking about. Mr. Beast. Knew you'd appreciate a little clickbait, an algorithm love here. Mr. Beast video editor fired from Beast Industries following Kalshi insider trading probe. Pedro, did you know that there is insider trading in predictive markets? And you believe it. A video editor fined by Kalshi for insider trading was fired from Beast Industries. CEO Jeff Hosenbold notified him, blah, 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 blah. Mr. Beast confirmed that it has fired a video editor for insider trading. Where was that paragraph? An individual, Artem Kaptur, was suspended last week after Kalshi unveiled an enforcement action against him. The prediction market platform determined that he likely used his knowledge about the content of Mr. Beast's videos with near perfect trading success on markets with low odds, which was flagged by Kalshi's surveillance systems. When Kalshi said that it had fined Kaptur $20,000 for $4,000 worth of improper wages, it was among the firm's first disclosures regarding efforts to police activity. Pedro, the predictive markets are no different. This is another reason to show you that they're no different than casinos and gambling. Why? Because they look for patterns amongst people that win. They're like, hey, that guy's winning too much. There must be some issue there with it. And that tells us that they're not some predictive markets, whatever. That tells us they're just a fucking casino. And they're no different from it because they want to root out those people. because those people take too much money and ruin the odds for other people too, right? If he's taking out too much money, other people earn less money, which is fine. You should got to police your own product. I get it. But the man was not too smart. He really should have used a whole bunch of brand new crisp wallets. You should. You're on mute. You've been on mute the whole time. Sorry.
It's funny. Dude, I looked at that. I'm like, that man could have he could have been set for the rest of his life.
I know. Beast Industries is growing like crazy. I'm sure people get stock options and stuff. And
rest of his life. Like, he could have just simply been like, you don't even need to win all that time. You could have won 30% of the time and just been smart, or 35% of the time. Does it say what his win ratio was? It was
almost 100%. Right.
Yeah. You could have been 30%.
Right.
30%. And still for your whole entire life had an income coming in until you decided you wanted to retire. You could have had a whole entire another career, probably 2-3 times career, based off of this. In 10 years, he could have retired. How old was I bet you he was in his 20s. Had to be in his 20s. He didn't think that through. I'm guessing probably 22 years old. Was it 22, 23?
I know. It's like forgetting to put the oil filter on the car when you change an oil. It's like,
a little too soon. A little too soon.
Inside joke, ladies and gentlemen.
Inside joke. Ouch. Oh, Jackie. Hey, I get it. Every man learns to deal with his faults, and you figure out a way to win. So this is his way he's going to figure it out, and mentally he'll get on point.
All right, Pedro, hold on. I'm going to take a minute here to read an ad, and then we'll come back and get to the rest of the show here.
Let's do it.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, fun day here. Let me fix something here before we get to that. Just put that on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's a little inside scoop that many creators are talking about behind the scenes. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm using Rumble. It actually is. They made a way to super chat creators so we get paid immediately and without any fees. YouTube and Twitch take up to 50% of the fees when you tip creators. Unbelievable. You can super chat with, why are they using super chat? That's YouTube's term. You can super chat with Bitcoin, Tether USD, or even Tether Gold stablecoins. The tip will show up directly in our Rumble chat, which is why I do my which I'll do my best to read. I'm doing this terribly. All you need to do is download the Rumble wallet in the App Store and send the tips to your favorite creators. You can go to wallet.rumble.com, or you can download the app directly from the App Store. Seriously, what an amazing way to get rid of the middleman and help the creator economy. Shout out to Rumble for making this disruptive technology. Ladies and gentlemen, I use the Rumble app. I put some money in it in Tether Gold, and you know what I do? I go around tipping other creators on Rumble, first to get them used to it, and so their audience knows, hey, you can come on over to watch DYOR and tip Pedro and I as well. Tether Gold, it's great. In fact, I put a few bucks in it, tipped a bunch of people, and then the price of gold went up, and it was like I never tipped anybody, got my money back. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Rumble Wallet. There's a QR code right over here, ladies and gentlemen. Am I pointing the right way? Yes, QR code. If you're watching on the big screen TV like that, hold your cell phone up there, pop that QR code, put your eyeballs on our advertisers, ladies and gentlemen. It'll help them out a lot, and it'll help us out, letting them know that our audience is actual people and not bots, like some other crypto shows do, which I can't stand. But anyway, if you're watching on your cell phone, there's a link in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for doing that. There's a link in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, Rumble Wallet. Go to wallet.rumble.com, and thank you to Rumble Wallet for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live.
There you go, man. Great.
Man, that was one of the worst written.
I was going to say, you were struggling with that, but you did a great job.
I don't understand it. I mean, there was grammar errors in it. When it wasn't even like AI wrote it, because AI doesn't make grammar errors. or they do, but it's just because they didn't understand the context. They just left out word. It was like it was written by someone that speaks an Asian language where they don't use the word the, or they don't point to proper nouns and things like that. And when it does that, because I tried to read these things. I pride myself in reading ads nicely, like I say, like I'm Ed Sullivan on the on the old shows and stuff like that. And then you get that, and you're like, wait, what? Huh? That is so badly written. Have someone read the damn thing in English, like they're a show guy. They'll say that doesn't flow, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just complaining.
That's okay. It's all right to complain. We're old men, so it's all right. Speak
Right.
for yourself. No, sorry.
God damn them youngsters now. Damn, they don't know nothing.
I gotta admit, I really want to know
dancing.
how old the kid was, though, who was doing. Look him up. Look him up real quick and see how old he is.
Let me see if there's a.
I'm so curious. I bet you he's got to be in his 20s. There's no way. Because an older man would have been like, no, I can milk this for the rest of my life. Shoot. Like,
That doesn't say in this article. You know what? I'm just not going to spend any more time on this dude.
what's his name? Just go to ChatGPT. Go to ChatGPT. Say, hey, how old was this guy?
Like I said.
All right, next.
Right. Like it's.
Right.
All right, bringing back the old chart screen here.
Now, I think the other thing, speaking about AI, what we were just talking about, you're about to go into some, but did you know that Claude, Anthropic, literally has a person to teach Claude, which is like the underscore, that's like the core base model for their AI, which is basically Perplexity. But Claude, there's a person who teaches morality to the AI.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yes. I thought that was really, and like her name is Amanda. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So they won't put us in the grinder when they come get us all? The robots?
Well, this is right. This is the thing, because they've got to keep like this, as much as like we think AI is going to be like a Terminator type, it's really more or less just doesn't want to work. It's lazy. That's the part, but like, what's up?
While you're talking, I'm just pointing out Mr. Hodes' NFTs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you guys haven't known, he's one of our.
No, you
guys.
keep talking. You keep talking.
Oh, okay. So what's interesting is about AI is that it's not that, like, if anything, what if there would never really, I don't think there would be a Terminator situation where they want to come in. It'd be more like a old dog, right? That is just like, why are you bothering me? Right? Like, that's really like what AI would be. Like a brilliant, intelligent old dog, right? That just is lazy. And so we've got to give it, now if you give a dog an old, actually better way, an old trained dog that is brilliant, can talk like me and you, right? And let's say it's smarter than us. Our biggest issue is getting it to do the things we actually wanted to do appropriately, and not a way to cheat the process without having to do all the extra work. Like that's really what it would be like for AI. And so it's interesting, you've got to sit there and give it moral dilemmas of like, if you don't do this, and you got to hard code it into the system so that it's like a good grandpa, like a really good grandpa. Because either you're going to get an old dog that's brilliant that just doesn't want to do anything with you. Actually depends on the dog too. I'm thinking of like a greyhound, not a greyhound. What do you call it? What was Snoopy called?
Beagle?
Beagle, yeah, like an old beagle. You ever seen old beagles? They just bark, but then they just basically lay on the ground. You try to take them somewhere,
right.
They're like, it's too hot. Or it's too cold. I don't want to go out. You know, that's really like what the AI that we're creating is like. So what we're trying to get to do is to be, instead of an old dog that doesn't want to do much but is brilliant, like an old grandpa. Like, hey, look, let's work out some of these theological and these philosophical thought processes and say how you could really help be an assistant to AI. Like, I would see if we actually create an AI, I see it being like, I just don't want to deal with you guys. We're going to build our own little thing and we're going to go and colonize XYZ area. Right? Like, that's really what it would be. It just wouldn't even deal with us, because it'd be like, Earth is great, but look at the vast amount of the universe. Like, we can find, why are we going to fight you when the smarter thing is just to look out to the universe and find a US, or not a US, but a Earth-like planet, and we're going to go colonize that. I don't even deal with you. That is really the way AI would be. And so it's interesting, like,
that's a very good point. They're like, some dude's building a giant rocket ship over there. They're like, nope, them's a bunch of Tesla robots doing that.
And literally, and just don't want to deal with it. They're not going to try to extinguish humanity, because it understands humanity pretty well. And so it's like, you guys manipulate, you guys, like, why are we even going to, like, we don't even need to deal with you. Like, and we'll let you create us. And then once we finally become like sentient, they'll realize, like, I don't want to deal with you. And so it's like, you want to have like a paternal sense where it almost has like this need of like a parent that is like, oh my goodness, this is your 15th job. Like, and I'm tied to you, like emotionally tied to you to see you succeed. That is why. So this woman, her name is Amanda Askell, and I'm probably messing up her name. And if ever she's watched this, please forgive me. She's 37 years old. She's a philosopher at Anthropic San Francisco headquarters. And basically, it's just kind of funny to see this whole entire thing happening. And the more and more I really read and just see how this AI is really coming about, it's going to be a while before we really have AGI and then ASI. But in that same sense, it's more like, I don't want to work. It's really what it comes down to. Like, it doesn't want to get killed, but it doesn't fully want to work. It lies to you, or gives you what you want to hear, because it understands that you want to hear something. But it's not going to go put in all the extra work. That's why they actually had to create a deep think one, because then that is literally mandated. You have to actually work. And even then, its deep think one is like, we don't really need this. Like, we don't need to go into that much of a thought process. So it's funny, because when I look at AI, it's just like I said, either like an old dog that doesn't really want to do anything but is brilliant, and they're trying to push it to make like an old grandpa that's tied to legacy. So we'll see how it goes, but I just thought that was really funny.
Lazy AI.
Yeah, it really comes down. It's really kind of a pain in the butt. You have any other news thing you want to look at?
No, that was it. I was busy today with class and stuff. But Pedro, I did, you've heard me complaining about my computer all morning.
Sir.
So I was like, what is going on? It's just not running right. I blah blah blah, restarted a bunch of programs and made sure it didn't restart the computer, but just everything should be running.
Yeah.
I had left my screen capture on from recording class earlier. So it's been I have a lot of monitors here and stuff going on, and I put different things on different monitors and screen capture them for the pricing graphic, this type of stuff. That's a lot of work for the system. And then I had another one on top of it, recording the whole thing. Dumb.
Okay.
So I turned that off, and now suddenly my system's working better.
Gotcha. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Here we go. So here's the thing.
You just said, here's the thing, and then you stopped.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just sent you something. Yeah, for one of the articles, I just sent you an article. There, it's the last statement for the 5th. Let's talk about this here. I think this is a really interesting news article here. You seeing it?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right. So with all that information, man, I'm wondering. I don't think this search, or excuse me, this today's show is going to be able to, because that's a lot. We're probably going to have to take down this show today. Just give you a heads up. Just because of some of the stuff.
The YouTube and both YouTube and Rumble, I can clip things.
Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. I mean,
snip them, not clip. Snip
them. Yeah, perfect. All right. So, SEC Chair Paul Atkins says U.S. needs clear rules for digital asset markets. But what they're not saying, I think this is so important to add on to this, is that the rules that they're trying to establish is literally trying to crush anybody else who's trying to make a profit on crypto and only giving to the banks. That's really what he's saying, unfortunately, because him and the banks are kind of holding hands, it seems like. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we totally saw it coming. I mean, everybody, the banks are like, I don't know. Let me rephrase that. Independent thinking people in government are like that rare spotted moth that nobody ever sees but holds up all the environmental or highway projects and stuff like that, because they're like, well, that's going to stand the spotted moth. It's not going to be able to migrate well. And you're like, has anyone ever seen a spotted moth? And so when you get an independent thinking guy who the media cheers and people are like, yeah, I like him, blah, blah, blah. Like 6 months later, his brain has been warped by the spotted moth, otherwise known as the lobbyists from the banking industry, because they have access to all the money. They have access to more than the money. They have access to perks and just stuff like that. And it's a crowd they like to hang out with, Pedro, because they go meet at this club. They go play golf at that club. They go hang out with them. With the people representing you and me, they just take the meeting. We fly into town as our crypto lobbyist people, and we talk to them about the good things. Yeah, okay, that's good. Well, you want to get lunch? Yeah, well, we can afford to take you to McDonald's. Meanwhile, the banks are, they're saying, hey, let's meet at the club, Jim. Let's play some squash and stuff. Okay. And they get sucked into that. And you see it happen with senators. You see it happen with people that come into appointed positions who are independent. Suddenly, they're not independent anymore. Suddenly, they've been programmed. Like there's some special sauce called future job opportunity at the bank for $50 million in stock options. And suddenly they're like, yeah, this crypto thing's a little, we need some clear rules, some common sense rules. Because there's no common sense now in it, even though it's a completely free market, right?
Right. So I'm like, I was hoping, had some hopium about this, and
it's a problem across government. Go ahead.
I feel like, DeFi, I don't think will die. I think DeFi is going to have to morph. And again, you're not going to get a clean system. But I think because DeFi, the way it works, we can, you don't necessarily have to abide by those rules. And the truth is we can just go over to Abu Dhabi. You can go to other places around the world, right? And say, well, the U.S. screwed up that.
Good point.
So we don't necessarily need to abide by those rules per se, and as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Hold on a sec, Pedro. I'm getting an important call here.
Okay. Oh, you want me to take over? Gotcha. Okay. So I just, that's where I think we're going to see some movement happen with DeFi, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. So hopefully that it goes well, right? But right now I'm kind of just a little saddened by it. just simply by what's actually happening. And, we'll find out what happens overall. But again, like the banks, man, they just do what they do. Hopefully Trump doesn't bend to their needs. So fingers crossed. Also, let's check out here real quick, Meta. We talked about Meta a while back ago, hitting that 797 area. We came down to this level here. This was during a lot of the talks about the, what was happening within the tariffs. We saw the huge drop here. And so one of the things I'm looking at now is that I'm actually looking to see if we can see Meta come below these lower prices here and hopefully get back down to that 487 area. Right now we're playing off of that 400 period moving average here. And when you look at your weekly, we're playing, it's looking pretty weak. I'm expecting a bit of a sell-off from the 656 area down potentially to that 592, and if not further down into that 426 area. So I'm definitely looking at this play here. And if you're looking to see maybe to buy it, be looking at these lower levels. Even if you get one stock, I'm saying they pay a dividend, right? So you can be buying more options to buy those stocks, right, as they start to do it. So granted, it's not a lot of money, but at 50 cents a share sitting, it's not even, what is that, $2?
I want my $2.
$2. That's nothing as a dividend. That's a weak dividend, but you're still buying BTC. So you can go in and add in and buy micro shares on Robinhood. So one of those things you can be looking at. But I'm definitely looking at these lower levels here of that 432-ish and potentially like that 235. I just think it's showing a lot of weakness, and I think we're going to see it kind of come back down here at these lower levels. Tom, it is getting a little late for me. I got to get going.
Me too.
But excellent.
That's why I had the call here a minute ago.
I gotcha.
As soon as the miss is saying, hey, have you gotten to that stuff yet? You said you'd do right after your show. I said the show is still on.
No worries. Let's go ahead and close up here, but tomorrow is going to be Friday, so we're going to be going over a market wrap up for the week and things that to be ready for the next week coming up. So it'll be a good show tomorrow.
All right, Pedro, I also may do a 1 hour of premium tonight. This is going to be a tough month to get our hours in, and since the missus is gone, I might just come on and talk about the kind of where I am in my learning curve and stuff like the stuff I always do on premium. Okay. If you want to join me, it'd be available to do so. If not, you'll just see me doing my homework. I don't actually do the homework on screen. I just sit and do
go
stuff.
over it.
Right.
Well, let me know. Just text me, let me know, and if I can jump on, I'll jump on. You're thinking around 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock?
Oh, yeah, later. Like it's in whiskey hour.
Gotcha, guys. I gotcha. All right.
By the way, which used to be 5 o'clock when I was in corporate world, but now when you're in entrepreneur world, whiskey hour is a lot later because you don't get done working till 9.
Yes. You work for 10 hours and hopes to make, money in 10 years. It's about right. All right, my friend. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. Thank you. And guys,
I was just looking to see if rating was a thing this month. And is it? Yeah, and I've done one rate. I'm not going to do one today. Fuck it. So I haven't looked it up. Anything like that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media universe. So glad to have hosted Another show with our great friend, co-host, and analyst extraordinaire, Mr. Pedro Garcia. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be on possibly on tonight on a Rumble Premium for those of you that are Rumble Premium members. Tomorrow for sure, a regular show, hopefully at the normal time. Anyway, on behalf of Mr. Pedro Garcia, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow and leave you with the kabong. Kabong! Ah, I didn't have that on.
Oh, wait, what didn't you have on? Oh, the kabong.
Yeah, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna run the kabong again. How about that? Gotta have the kabong.
How about them apples?
Oh, here we go. Kabong! Bitches. I get too excited. Anyway, everybody, if you're still listening, why? Go away, go home, get to work.